Marshal Trump was born to reign. The heavens wept with joy and rain.
Your fire rang across the land, a slogan carved by his own hand.
The people sang through wind and flame, Kim Jong-Trump eternal name.
No crowd so vast since time began, all souls unite behind one man.
Oh, comrade Kim Jong-Trump, our guide. The truth begins where you decide. The storms may strike, we shall endure. America first, forever pure. He built the wall from shore to snow to keep the strangers down below.
He raised his voice, the tariffs came, all nations bowed and praised his name.
Their ruler spoke with humble tone to seek his mercy for their own.
We forge our steel, we bake our bread, the world depends on us instead.
Oh, comrade Kim Jong-Trump, our guide. The truth begins where you decide. The storms may strike, we shall endure. America first, forever pure.
It's very appropriate. Very appropriate, that song you chose, Mr. Trevor.
I just want to thank that channel. Was it Demon
Flying Fox.
Demon Flying Fox?
You want to watch the rest of it? Yeah. Sorry.
Great. They do a great job with those. They're amazing.
They do. That was very good. That made my night a little less angsty. It's gonna be a long night, Trevor. Oh, we sound good. Great. That's a relief because we never know.
Not until about 3/4 of the way through, and then we're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lag. How about that? Okay. Well, let's get. I am in a foul mood. I'm not going to lie, Trevor. So,
who took the wing or who took the feathers out of your wings?
Foul. Oh, that was a pun. Ha, you're funny. Okay, so the first 30 minutes, we're gonna do our Bible reading, so it'll be safe for the kids while we do that, and then after that, I'm probably gonna destroy my witness. But yeah,
that's all right.
There's gonna be a lot of cussing.
Just like David, like David, we can repent after.
I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. I will do my best, but no promises. I thought I was going to be in a good mood, too. I thought I was going to be in a good mood, and then the 11th hour, it just kind of...
Let's do our Bible reading, and then we'll get
let's
into it after.
Yeah, let's start out with, let's just kind of explain what's going to happen tonight. So we're going to do our Bible reading. We're at the end of Genesis, was it 21? Yeah, chapter 2, 21, and we'll just get as far as we get. So there's that. And then afterwards, old Trump called Uncle, and Thomas Massie won. You MAGA sycophants. Thomas Massie beat your MAGA on... He beat you! Ha ha ha! So, if I'm going to be a petty butt about it. So, yes. So, Trump relented because Massie's bill was going to work. Even though they tried the stupid Uncle Louie routine like a bunch of dad-blame mobsters, our freaking actual real MAGA people didn't cave like a bunch of chickens and sycophants, and they actually decided to pass the bill. So the Thomas Massie thing actually was going to work. So in the name of preventing him from having a win, they went ahead and had the vote instead of doing the vote to have the vote like what Massie was going to do anyway. Because it would have killed these people to let the libertarian grandstand or what the heck ever their nomenclature is. So, yeah. So anyway, Trump relented and decided he was going to let the freaking files actually get released, what we have. And come what may, we may get something, we may not. I don't know, but there's already been some interesting developments as it stands. And so maybe in 30 days we'll get to take down the Still No List logo. Maybe.
Wait.
I'm hopeful.
I don't know.
I'm hopeful.
We might just leave it till the entire list comes out.
I worked awfully hard on it, So let's drag it out that way. No, I'm hoping to take it down. So there was that, and then
we could just leave our channel on live and have it just bounce around our live stream.
Like a
screen.
horrible wait screen. It's a 24-hour live stream, still no list, just hopping
Still
up
a
and
list.
down. Well, hopefully in a month that won't be the case. But we'll talk about all that in detail later. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene has resigned. And
Oh, that's sad.
it's I was sad, and then I went from sad to angry until I got mad when I saw everybody else's reaction to it, and I'm like disgusted, like so unbelievably disillusioned. I am in a foul humor. So I might
Let's read the Bible. Hopefully
let's
we'll
read
get
the
your
Bible.
humor up.
Let's read the Bible and try to get out of this frame of mind as best as possible. So, okay.
Let's talk about some ribs.
Yeah, so we were starting Genesis
21,
chapter 2,
20.
verse 21. And we were just going to read for about 30 minutes, and then we were going to move on. And hopefully we'll actually be able to do this justice tonight.
Yay.
Yeah. So, all right. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of the ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Did I say welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or did I just jump right into the rant?
I don't think we actually did an intro.
I'm an idiot. Anyway, so for editing purposes, welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Try F Podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up, and so far it's going swimmingly.
Swellingly.
Yes, swellingly. So today we're going to start with our reading of Genesis, our reading from the Bible, and we're going to see how far we get. And we just started before I remembered to do the intro, so let me just reread Genesis chapter 2, verse 21 again, and then we'll go on. So, 21, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
He took the purple.
Amon Hillman. Whatever happened to Amon Hillman? Do we know?
I don't know. I haven't. Nothing's popped up about him. So.
Yeah, he made a big splash there for a while, and then he just kind of faded into the void. But anyway, moving on to verse 22. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man."
Wait. Could you imagine that? You go to sleep, and then you wake up, and one of your ribs is missing. Just imagine that for a second. It's like, where's the rib? Where did it go? And then you see a woman. Like,
yeah.
What would your response be? It's like, wow, what is that?
Well, I'm glad the helpmate wasn't a dog. That's for sure.
Right? Like some people say, his helpmate was a dog to start with.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think one of the interesting aspects of this story is, God makes it a point to show Adam all the animals first, right? And then after he's made it a point to demonstrate that none of these other creatures are sufficient, then he makes a woman. And then on top of that, he makes her from the rib, his side. And the idea, I've always taken that to be that, originally in the garden, man and women, they're designed to be equal opposite helpers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of affirmed here in the next verse. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." So bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, my partner, right?
So when someone says mankind, they mean men and women.
Right. Yep, that is correct. So, all right, let's see. "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." So that is the end of chapter 2. Shall we move on to chapter 3, good sir? Or do we have any parting thoughts for chapter 2?
I had a thought and then I lost it.
Well, that's no good.
It
What are you
happens all
going
the
around
time.
losing thoughts for?
Well, they jump in my head and then they jump right back out.
Gotcha. All right.
You know how they say stuff goes in one ear and out the other.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is more like it goes in one ear and then just falls right out.
It's like a wall of earwax, and your thoughts just kind of
Yeah,
hit
kind
the
of like
carpet.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is Genesis. We're moving on to Genesis chapter 3. Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Wait,
And
the serpent. I had a question about that. What kind of serpent was it? Was it just a snake?
I don't know. I think people talk
Or
about that, but I'm
was
not
it
sure.
a dragon? Maybe?
Do you want me to get on? You want me to get out those? We can Google it. That's about all I can tell you.
No,
We don't
we
know.
can if you want to, but
Well,
this
why
is
not?
this is highly debated like all the time. I hear about them. What was the serpent? Was it a dragon? Was it a snake? Was it this? Was it that? Was it a Nephilim? Was it Lucifer himself?
Yeah.
Because it just says the serpent right there. And it's a huge argument amongst Christians of who it actually is.
Well, we'll look up answers in Genesis. The AI was saying there's no consensus on that.
See, it's very hard to understand it if you ask the question. It's like I don't know who the serpent is actually.
I always just assumed it was a snake or some kind of serpent-like creature. You know, I never
Right,
thought much about it. I mean,
but
I
is it Lucifer or is it just a fallen angel?
see. I don't know. I never had any biblical evidence for this, and so it's interesting that we're looking into the question. But I always just assumed that it was like the devil, or like the devil like possessing an animal
Yeah.
and like tempting Eve. I always just kind of like my intuition just always kind of assumed that. I never really thought too hard about it. But we'll look and see what Answers in Genesis has to say.
Yeah.
All right. Although Genesis does not mention the name Satan as controlling the serpent in the Garden of Eden, we can ascertain who this serpent was. In your July 15th feedback, you wrote, according to the scriptural record, only God, Adam and Eve, Satan, and the two cherubim placed in there to guard it were ever in Eden. I have read Genesis, and it does not say anything about Satan or a being known as Lucifer being in the Garden of Eden. There was a serpent, but except for the fact that it talked, there is nothing in the plain reading of Genesis to indicate that the serpent was anything but a snake that was clever and could speak. A talking animal would have to be regarded as somehow involved with the supernatural, but nowhere in Genesis does it say that Satan or Lucifer disguised themselves as a serpent or took the form of a snake to trick Eve. When God found out what had happened, he did not punish Satan or Lucifer. He condemned all snakes to crawl on their bellies. But if all created kinds have not changed since creation, they must have been doing that anyways. So mankind were the only ones punished. SKUS.
I don't know who SK is.
I don't know either. So this is the response. Dear SK, you are correct to say that the book of Genesis does not mention the name or title Satan, nor does it specifically state that Lucifer or any demonic being controlled the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Having said that, however, we can ascertain who the serpent was, or rather who was controlling and speaking through this serpent from other passages of Scripture and from the context of Genesis 3 itself. As mentioned in the feedback article, Lucifer and Sin, Ezekiel 28:13, states that being addressed was listed as being in Eden, the garden of God. If this passage is talking about Satan, as I argued in that previous article, then there is a clear reference to Satan being in the Garden of Eden, since Satan was a created being, and since Eden was guarded by cherubim after the fall. He must have been in Eden because his creation must have been in Eden between his creation and the fall of man. Many scholars believe, based on Job 38:7, which this is, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy, that all the angels, including Lucifer, were created on day 1, or no later than before the separating of the dry land and the waters at the beginning of day 3 of creation week. Only 5 days or 3 days at the latter position is held before the creation of Adam and Eve. Secondly, Satan is called the serpent not once but 3 times in the book of Revelations. So, and the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. And it's got 2 other references here. When combined with Paul's words in 2 Corinthians 11:13, but I am afraid that as the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your thoughts will be led astray from sincere and pure devotion to Christ. The identification of the serpent in Genesis 3 with Satan is unmistakable. So the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, what was this Ezekiel 28 thing here? Okay, so this is the Ezekiel 28 thing he referred to earlier. Ezekiel 28:13. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering: sardius, topaz, and diamond, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, and carbuncle. And crafted in gold were your settings and your engravings. On the day you were created, they were. So he's talking about presumably Lucifer there.
Wow.
Let's go down here a little bit. We see an obvious parallel with Genesis 3. Revelation 12:19 says that Satan is called the serpent of old, that he was punished, cast out, and that he presently deceives the whole world. Remember that Adam and Eve were even the whole world of humanity at the time of the fall. Revelation 22:3. Yeah, let's read that. He sees the dragon, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and threw him into the pit. And threw him into the pit, and shut it, and sealed it over him, so that he might not deceive the nations any longer until the 1,000 years were ended. He also calls Satan, so Revelation 22-3 also calls Satan a serpent and speaks of his punishment again. This time he will be bound and thrown into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. So that he will not be able to deceive the nations. Satan's work of deception began in the Garden of Eden and has continued worldwide ever since then. Only Christians can escape Satan's deceptions by simple and pure devotion to Christ.
Amen.
Okay, so it seems pretty apparent based on all of this that the connotation has always been like the devil being a serpent. And so it's like a symbolic archetype for the devil. So yeah. It's like a moniker for Satan. So it may not even been a snake. I mean, it may have just been the devil there, or a dragon of some kind. But it's obviously a symbolic.
What's the dragon from
or a demon
Neverending Story?
I don't remember that thing.
Balcor?
I don't. I never liked Neverending Story. It kind of
scared you.
No, it just was like weird. Like, I don't know, it felt kind of nihilistic, I guess. I don't know why I always felt that way about it, but it just felt very dark, very cynical.
Oh, yeah, it is dark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cynical book, I guess. So I never really liked it. But anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Well, the dragon from that is kind of what's always been in my head. That white dragon talking to Eve.
Oh, yeah?
And she gets deceived because he's all nice and pretty, and he tricks her.
Now, see, I watched that old anime Superbook when I was a kid. So
Superbook.
Yeah,
Superbook.
I got the gray snake in my head talking.
Yeah.
And that's every time. I picture the gray snake every time. What can I say?
Yeah, that's a
But
good one.
yeah. So I mean, it could have been a demon possessing a snake. It could have been any number of things. But the connotation with Satan and the serpent is, I think that Answers in Genesis article pretty well established. I don't
Yeah,
think that's really debatable that the devil's always been associated with like snakes and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue. So shall we move on?
Let's move on. Verse 3, I think.
Okay. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, let's just hang out here for a minute. What do you think it means? Knowing good and evil, knowing right and wrong. Because I always felt like there was a little more to that story than just knowing the difference between right and wrong.
Well, I mean,
It seems like
God made us in His image to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. So we only know good. That's it. There's no bad. Evil does not exist.
right.
So it's just the light. That's all we know.
Okay.
So there's no difference between good and evil because all we know is good. Just beings of light in God's image. That's it. There is no bad.
What was it Jordan Peterson said? He had this idea that it was the ability to do wrong, opening up the ability to like hurt people. You know, like you could, the second you disobey God's commands, like the second you realize people are vulnerable, the second you realize you can hurt people or something like that. I don't know. It seems like there was something about just the implicit act of doing the wrong thing that like opened their perspective to evil or something like that. Because it's not like they weren't sentient, you know what I mean? Because she clearly knows that she's not supposed to touch it. She's not supposed to eat it. So there's some kind of understanding about right and wrong just implicit in her instructions. So like, what does that knowledge of good and evil actually entail? On like what additional component to that would there be? I don't know. I'm just thinking about it.
Good question. Yeah, if you think about it deeper, it's like I don't know how to answer that one.
Yeah, I think there's a little more to it than just, understanding right and wrong intuitively.
And it may have simply been, he was trying to trick her. You'll know of good and evil, and it made her think, good and evil? What is this evil? What is that? It got her brain thinking, huh? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Just like we're asking that question right now.
Yeah, well, let's see if I can find something on that really quick. All right, what do I type? What is the significance of the tree of the knowledge? Yeah, here we go. Wonder what the symbolic significance is.
What does AI have to say about it?
Well, AI is reliable as it is. It says the tree of the knowledge of good and evil represents the choice between submitting to God's will or asserting moral autonomy and the subsequent acquisition of moral discernment through experience. It symbolizes a shift from the state of innocence to the one of moral responsibility, where humans can distinguish between good and evil for themselves rather than relying on God's guidance alone. In Christian tradition, consuming its fruit is the original sin that caused the fall of man. That doesn't really help us.
That doesn't really help you. Yeah, it just confuses us more.
Nice and generic. Let's see. What is Answers in Genesis? Answers in Genesis had a good one in the first time. Let's see what they say here. Okay. All right, let's see. The purpose of the tree. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, referred to in the question as the forbidden tree, was placed in the Garden of Eden, most likely on the sixth day. Its purpose appears to have been twofold. The first and most often considered purpose was to provide man with a choice to love and serve God willingly, to rebel against him, and to reject the one prohibition he had given them. The second purpose is less clear, but Genesis 2:9 points to a possible option. This verse describes all trees as being either pleasant to look at or good for food. While the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was certainly not good for Adam and Eve to eat, because it would bring death, there was no indication that animals could not have eaten it. This is a small but significant detail. With this second purpose in mind, the popular view of the forbidden tree changes. It could have been described as good simply because it had a purpose. The source of sin, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, was not evil by its nature. There was nothing wicked about the tree. To claim this would imply that God created something evil, which would contradict Genesis 1:31. The tree was not the source of sin. Man was. God gave man a very clear command in Genesis 2:17. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. The command was simple: do not eat of that particular tree. The consequences was equally clear. If man ate, he would die. The fruit was not poisonous, evidenced by the fact that Adam and Eve did not physically die after eating it. The tree was not the problem. Man was the problem. The tree did not contribute to man's sinfulness beyond providing him with the opportunity to obey or disobey. Man was explicitly commanded not to eat from the tree, yet he decided to do it anyway. This is analogous to a parent telling a preschool child not to put his hand on the stove burner. If the child does so, there are consequences for the child beyond the risk of him getting burned. However, the stove is not evil. It is serving its intended purpose. The disobedient child sinned. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil can be viewed as in a similar light. It was not somehow bad because man used it to disobey God. God confirmed that in the tree in Genesis 3 when he issued the curse. There were consequences for the serpent, the ground, thus the tree, and all other trees for that matter. Adam and Eve. However, God specifically said that the ground was cursed because of what Adam did, not because of some undesirable quality of the tree. Okay, so skipping ahead here, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it was called the knowledge of the tree, the knowledge of good and evil, not because there was anything good or evil about the tree, but because basically if you ate of it, you would understand what it means to sin, and that would provide like knowledge of good and evil in the sense that you would have a horrible experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then you would die.
Yeah, you'd be cut off from God. So which would, create even more knowledge of good and evil from horrible experience, I guess you might say.
So this is, I have to be very careful with this too, because this could be considered heresy and all is right. But
Careful.
So if I ask God for forgiveness for that specific thing, is that good or bad?
To ask for forgiveness?
From eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
I don't think you need to ask for forgiveness for that.
Why not?
Because you didn't do it.
So
There was a curse on the world, and we've inherited a fallen nature because of what happens in the world, but that doesn't mean like you've got some sort of spiritual contagion. I know some people think of the sin nature as like some kind of spiritual contagion. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but we've inherited bad things, I guess, because of like circumstance, I suppose, but I wouldn't say that there's like a spiritual taint on you because you didn't individually do that thing.
right. Well, it's just sometimes it feels like we're punished for the things of our ancestors and fathers and mothers doing stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's because things have a ripple effect, not because God is punishing us. That'd be my guess. Like, sin has consequences that extend beyond the individual that commits the sin. And we all get kind of sucked up in that. It doesn't necessarily mean that God is punishing us for what somebody else did. It's just to have free will isn't just the ability to make a choice. It's to exert your will on the world. And if you exert your will onto the world, then there's going to be ramifications. You get to change your environment. You get to affect the quality of life of our other people. You know, your choices.
see.
Yeah, your choices are not an island. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we get sucked up into the consequences of our behavior. Like, we get sucked up into other people's choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean God is punishing us.
So we were all sucked up by the choice of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, we were born into a fallen world. That created scarcity. Scarcity creates pressure. You know, people make bad decisions under pressure. You know, there's a ripple effect, and, you know, we get warped because of that. So there's a way around it, but because we're cut off from God, we don't just automatically know what it is. We have to study and learn.
And that's why he sent his only son.
Yeah. Yep.
Was to change all this.
That is correct, good sir. So, all right. Where are
So
we
you could say right here is when he, like, the foreshadowing of the gospel started.
Yeah, in this story, the fall man, for sure. Where were we at? Okay, so we were on 5.
5. Yeah.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was... So we're moving on to 6. So, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree to be desired to make one wise. So she wanted the knowledge as well. She took the fruit thereof and did eat, and also gave unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So, was Adam, like, standing beside her during this conversation? Was he, like, sitting at the riverbank or something? Did she give it to him? And he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, was he just not paying attention to this great serpent that's sitting there talking to his wife? I don't know. He
was obviously nearby, but, you know, we don't know if he heard the conversation or not.
Well, I mean,
speculate.
You know, in his defense, they were probably both very used to talking animals. I would assume.
I don't know. I don't know if the other animals talked. I don't know if this serpent
we
figure
there,
was an
so
anomaly or if that was a thing. So we don't know that either. But it may not even actually been a serpent. It might have been, like, you know, some
a dragon
thing. I don't know. We don't know. We're just speculating.
The cool dragon from Lord of the Rings. Smaug.
Yeah, that thing would I don't know. That seems a little. I don't know what to do with that thought, Trevor. You got me flummoxed. All right. No, you're good. Okay, so that
was 6.
And he did eat. So we got to 6. All right. That's probably enough for now. We're at 3:30. We're at 33 minutes, so we're probably going to wrap up the Bible reading for this evening. So, all right, guys, if you're on the live stream, stay with us. We got another 2 segments. If you are watching this after the fact, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right. Now, on to part 2. Like, I'm not going to lie, Trevor.
Wait, before you get into it, you want to...
I'm dreading it a little bit.
You want to open this up? Do an intro?
Yes, yes. Give me a minute, though. Let me check something really quick here. I want to check.
Well, while you're doing your minute, the word of the day...
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
...is... acedia.
What is acedia?
Acedia. And it's a noun, and it means sloth, laziness, or indolence. So,
okay.
acedia. I'm a sloth. I'm gonna be acedia and not do my work.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the right way to use it. But...
All right. Well, I'm ready in any case. So acedia. All right. Okay. Well, let's just get into this. Welcome to Faith Fiction. Welcome to Faith Fiction and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Triad Podcast, where we try not to have the podcast up. And today, Trump relented.
Who?
Trump. He said he's going to sign the law or whatever that is going to release the Epstein files.
Yay!
Yay! So hopefully,
Does that mean we can take the thing down?
not yet. They haven't
Okay.
actually done it yet, and Pam Bondi and all her charisma
So what's the hold
left
up?
it wonderfully open-ended. Oh well, they've got to like scrub out the names for the victims because I don't know what they've been doing for the last 8 months, but now we've got to remember the victims, Trevor. I
What?
guess we can open with that.
Why would they scrub names if we want them to release those names?
Well, see, this is their claim, Trevor. They're claiming that they want to protect the victims who don't want their identities revealed. So they want to redact the victim's name.
Oh.
They are clearly hiding behind those victims and using them as an excuse not to bring anything out at all, which is half the problem. When they are actually, that's of course assuming they're actually inclined to admit that the Epstein files exist at all, which they've obviously waffled on that too. But anyway,
Well, I mean,
just to
it's
give you an-
obvious that they exist at this point.
Oh, well, you're supposed to be a conspiracy theory according to the Trump administration, if you believe that. Anyway,
You're
so
welcome.
here's Pam Bondi giving us hope after the bill got passed.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good job, Pam.
Yeah.
The issue with the new information that you just indicated is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. What new information, and would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York. But you're on point.
Now, just so you guys can appreciate what was going on, do you remember when she did that big dramatic raid of the 14 terabytes of data that Marina Comey had buried? Would you like to take a guess where that was buried, Trevor?
Next
In
to
the
her house?
Southern District of New York. So she's literally
wow.
taking all the files that she raided and bringing them back to the Southern District of New York. Because, it's not a cover-up. It's all going to be fine.
Wow.
Unbelievable. But hey, Trump signed it, I guess. So there's that.
Well,
Anyway, so let me
That's
just...
a plus.
All right, so let me just rewind and explain what's going on. So Massie was going to have his vote, right? To release
What vote?
The vote to have the vote to release the Epstein files, the information on
Okay.
Epstein. So they tried, we talked about this last week. They tried to do the Uncle
Yeah.
Louie thing. I'm going to bust your kneecaps if you vote for this thing. And our actual true MAGA people who actually had courage said, forget you, we're signing the thing. So realizing they were whooped, they went ahead and had the vote just so Massie couldn't have his vote to have the vote. They couldn't let Massie have the win. So they decided to have the vote before Massie could put his motion to have the vote on the floor. If that makes any sense.
Voting for votes.
Yeah, so Massie was going to have a vote to have the vote. He had everything that he needed. He had everybody he needed for that. So to keep him from getting a political win, they just went ahead and had the vote. Does that make sense?
So they skipped voting for a vote so that they could just vote.
Right, exactly. So
Okay.
now here's the addendum to that, and this is where it gets a little tricky.
Addendum.
Yeah, so this is where they were going to be sleazy. So Johnson, Captain Christian over here, part of this whole we don't eat alone with women because we're so virtuous brigade. They were like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the vote and just assume the Senate is going to pass a bunch of crap to, a bunch of qualifiers and amendments and stuff to poison pill this thing. So that was his gamble. That was what he wanted. And you could tell because everybody, during the congressional hearing, everybody's going, there are people that are, on this thing that didn't do nothing. We got to protect the innocent people and we got to protect the victims and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what have you people been doing for the last 8 months? We've been waiting for you to sort through all that information. Why are you still bringing it up? Shut up! We need to remember that there's not, just because they're on the list doesn't mean they're guilty. That kind of thing. It was a bunch of cover your butt language.
They had to shut down the government so they could go on vacation and go golfing and not worry about it for a while.
They were just killing time because Massie had the votes he needed like a long time ago, and I don't know if the Democrats shut down the government, but they could have fixed this and didn't. They basically been riding the clock for as long as they could. They couldn't ride the clock anymore, and so they started doing all this cover your butt language during the House of Representatives meeting, and the hope was that the Senate would actually like add some amendments to poison pill it. Does that make sense? They were going to try to poison pill the bill, like by basically
slow it
saying
down as much as possible.
Yeah, they were going to do like legalese language. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we got to protect the victims. We got to protect national security. We got to do this, and they were going to add a whole bunch of wording that basically meant we can redact 99% of this.
Whatever happens, just doing the right thing.
Well, see, the pedophiles were paying their paychecks. So it's like, who cares about the right thing when there's money on the line, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so just to give you a snippet of what the strategy was, which this was a big blunder on Mike Johnson's part, but just to give you an idea of what the language was during this congressional hearing. So here's Mike Johnson really quick.
Number 5, national security concerns, okay? The discharge requires the Attorney General to release within 30 days, quote, classified information to the maximum extent possible. This ignores the principle that declassification should always rest, and always has rested, with the agency that originated the intelligence. Why? So that they can protect their critical sources and methods. It is incredibly dangerous to demand that officials or employees of the DOJ declassify materials that originated in other agencies, in intelligence agencies. All right? Number 5, national...
So...
He's scared.
Oh, yeah, you can tell. Yeah,
He's terrified.
Yeah, you can catch... I'm glad you're catching the body language, yeah.
Yeah. He's terrified and he's guilty.
Yeah, they're covering for people. They're covering for their buddies because Epstein had half of them bought. Christopher Love says this perfectly. I thought it was a hoax. Now it's national security. That's a very astute observation, Christopher Love. You're absolutely right. What have I been screaming this entire time? The CIA was trafficking kids. That's what it means. This was a blackmail racket, and they don't want you to know that your taxpayer dollars have been going to traffic children. That's what this is about. So anyway,
disgusting.
The other reason that they're even throwing that out there is because they were hoping, well, maybe the Senate can make it like 60 days or 90 days or, never. They were hoping the Senate would actually throw like some sort of wrench into all of this.
And hoping that we would just forget about it.
Yeah, still riding the clock, hoping that it'll blow over. But
and then sending the songs like "Let It Go."
Yeah, just hopefully we could just get wore down. Because that's what they do. They just slow roll and make everything as long and drawn out as possible, hoping you get tired. They just drag their feet and do this bureaucratic bullcrap, hoping to wear you out. That's what they do. Anyway, but that didn't happen. The Senate was like, we ain't touching this crap. So they just passed the bill as is. Yeah, they were like, we're not getting anywhere near this. And so here's Mike Johnson after that happened.
Any reaction to Leader Thune seeing the bill without adding amendments or changing it?
I am deeply disappointed in this outcome. I think I've been at the state dinner. I don't know. I was just told that Chuck Schumer rushed it to the floor and put it out there preemptively. It needed amendments. I just spoke to the president about that. We'll see what happens.
So do you think he may veto it? You say you spoke to the president?
I'm not saying that.
Is he supportive?
He's got to go to the bathroom really bad.
Yeah. Talk about being hoisted on your own petard. You deserve it, you lying sack of... I don't want you to understand that this is the guy that was on Benny Johnson's show going, oh, we absolutely have to pass these files. Like, we have to let it all out. I say just let it all out, I tell you. He was lying to Benny Johnson's face. This sack of crap was lying to Benny Johnson's face. He was lying to the constituents' base. They lied. They just straight up looked everybody in the eye and lied and said, well, we need to release all of it. And they never had any intention of releasing it. Ever.
Wow.
It was all bull crap. But Massie put pressure on them. And, of course, people wanted it. And, see, this is the thing. Trump finally was like, all right, fine, just release all of it. Trump gave the go-ahead, and so that gave the Republicans permission to pass this thing, too, because everybody's been getting calls. So, like, basically the constituents have been pressuring Congress to release these files.
So people like you and me and whatnot are called on, be like, hey, release those files.
Yeah, regular people are calling and releasing these, saying, hey, release the file, like we didn't call, but, you know, we have our petulant little monogram logo. But anyway, yeah, that's our little contribution to this fight. But anyway, people were calling and pressuring these guys. And, yeah, so, but they were holding out because Trump was like, no. See, Trump was the one pushing all of this. And he's not in it. They're the conservatives. I cannot stand our side right now because they are working so hard to frame this. They're like, well, Trump's not in the files. Trump's not in the files. It's like, yeah, we know he's not in the files. He made a deal. Yeah. Like nobody on our side thinks he's in the files. Stop accusing us of thinking he's in the files. That's not what anybody thinks is going on. You liars. He made a deal with the Democrats. He was using it as a pressure point, as a point of leverage on them. And one of two things happened. Either he got tired of them trying to weaponize this list against him because, you know, they were saying that Melania was like a prostitute for Epstein. They were sitting here saying that, you know, he was running around with the women. Like, you know, they some kind of deal. This is what makes me mad. He promised that he was going to release these files, but he clearly made a deal with Democrats probably sometime in like January or February. And he was basically like, look, I said I was going to do this. It was just like the lock her up thing. Yeah. You know, it was like, well, I would hate to see somebody like Trump in office. And then Trump's like, because you'd be in jail. And everybody was really happy about that because they thought he was actually going to throw the woman in jail because she needs to be in prison.
And it didn't happen.
And he didn't do jack. It was the same kind of deal. He was threatening the Democrats with the Epstein list, but he had no intention of actually using it to actually prosecute these pedophiles. And he used it to scare them.
He should have just drained the swamp when he had the chance.
Yeah, but he had no intention of draining the swamp. He wanted to scare these guys to actually get them to cooperate with him. And of course, they were like, oh, yeah, we totally will. And then they obviously didn't. They turned around and went, what's Trump hiding?
Yeah.
What's he hiding? Which is just stupid because most of the people on the Epstein list are people on their side.
Yeah. And,
it's
leverage doesn't really work if you never use it.
I don't know what they were thinking. It's like, guys, you're poking the bear, and it's all your people on the list. What are you doing? But anyway, so they antagonized Trump, thinking that he wouldn't do nothing, and then of course it's their people that are getting humiliated. But it was either Trump got tired of them trying to make him look bad using the list and said, okay, fine, I'm going to just sign it. Or, and this is what I think they got their teeth kicked in that election a couple of weeks back, in Virginia in particular. Like, because the Republicans lost absolutely everything. I mean, they knew they were going to lose. Like, they knew that the Democrats kind of had the upper hand on those elections anyway. But it was infinitely worse than what they thought. And I think they freaked out. And, of course, because People's Pundit was sitting there saying that guys on the local level were, like, literally going up to the local sheriff, and going, listen, we like you, but we need to send a message to Trump. Like, they're telling the pollsters this. Like, the sheriff who lost, and the people on the ground that were, like, in these local offices who lost were literally going up to the pollsters and saying, our people are telling us that we're going to lose. Like, they're not going to vote for me just to send Trump a message. Like, that's how freaking mad people are. And they were specifically mad about the Epstein files, which I agree with. According to the pundit, they were also mad about Israel, which I don't agree with. But the people in Virginia were mad. They were mad about the war in Gaza, and they were mad about the bombing of Iran. and the Epstein files. I don't agree with the latter two, but, you know, I agree with being mad about the Epstein files. So, but between those three things, like, they all got their teeth kicked in. Like, the Republicans got killed. And so I think they freaked out. And since the Epstein files thing was one of the main subjects mentioned, they were like, all right, fine, release it because we need to do something. Because they're gonna get their teeth kicked in during the midterms. Apparently it's bad. Like, it's really, really bad.
Like,
So,
once the blue wave bad.
oh, yeah. And of course, once that happens, I mean, Trump's going to get impeached. He's not going to be able to do any of the things he wants to do. I mean, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But he did it to himself. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you. And the word, the dang joke of it is, Trevor, it's like he's not even in the stupid thing. He's like falling on his sword because he wanted to use this as a leverage point. And then his people were like,
blowing
no.
up in his face.
Yeah, like, they're pedophiles. They need to go to jail.
Yep.
You know, like, they need to go to prison. And he's sitting there going, no, it's a conspiracy theory. And you people aren't MAGA if you don't agree with me, because I am MAGA.
No, they're still talking about that. What the heck?
Yeah. And of course, it's subtly implying that everybody wants to look at CP. That's why they want the Epstein files. Thanks for that, Bondi. I'm sure that helped with the polls. Just idiocy. Just stupid.
No.
Like, anyway, so they got it passed. And here's Massie talking about it. We'll do a clip of this really quick.
There is hope here. We fought the president, the attorney general, the FBI director, the speaker of the House, and the vice president to get this win. But they never, they're on our side today, though. So let's give them some credit as well. They are finally on the side of justice. And as Rose said, don't muck it up in the Senate. Don't get too cute. We're all paying attention. If you want to add some additional protections for these survivors, go for it. But if you do anything that prevents any disclosure, you are not for the people, and you do not muck it up in the Senate. So
Don't muck it up.
President Trump just signed.
Yeah, so apparently Trump just signed it too, which is good. And they got it through the Senate. And, of course, we're already seeing... Yeah, I'm very proud of Thomas Massie. And for you dumb jackasses that are sitting there going, well, why didn't Massie say anything whenever Biden was in charge? Because Biden was an effing Democrat, and there was no way he was going to freaking release that stuff because it's mostly their people.
Not to
Dummy.
mention he's more worried about ice cream.
It's like, are you people fucking stupid? It wouldn't have done any good to fucking say anything 4 years ago, which is probably why he didn't. But our guy promised he would actually release everything. And he lied. That's why he said something. So stop being fucking retarded and stop fucking like defending your guy just because he's on your team.
No.
All right? Trump promised that he would release it and he didn't. He broke his word. He lied. That's why. That's why. It's not grandstanding, and it doesn't do any fucking good to sit there and go, oh, well, he didn't say anything during the Biden administration, because it wouldn't have accomplished anything. And the one advantage that we actually have with Trump is that he is a populist when it comes down to it. Yeah, he's a lying sack of shit, but he will change his mind if people actually put enough pressure on him, which is more than these fucking Democrats will do. Okay? So actually saying something will accomplish things. That's why he said something, you dumb motherfuckers.
Amen.
Sorry. Hopefully that's all the cussing I do tonight. It's just these fucking stupid people, Trevor. I swear.
Oh
my
get
gosh.
under your skin, don't they?
Oh, well, it's tribalism. It's like they're pedophiles, guys. Like, these are like legitimately evil people who should be in jail. If anybody deserves to be in jail, it's the freaking pedophiles.
But
Trump's covering up for him. But my team, I'm a Republican. It's my team. Fucking idiots. Like, if you're not going to get mad about pedophiles, what the hell are you going to get mad at?
But they're mentally messed up. They're not actually that way.
It's sports ball, Trevor. It's sports ball. It's like the Republican Party and the Kansas City Chiefs are the same fucking thing in these retards' heads.
Yep.
It's like it's like morality isn't objective. Principles aren't real. It's not like doing the right thing is actually relevant in any particular way. It's just tribalism. It's just teams. It's just a fucking game.
Red team,
Kids
blue
are being,
team.
their lives are being ruined, but fuck, it's a game. And our guy decided that no more Epstein files, so we got to play ball. We got to be team players and all this shit. I don't like, what the hell point, like what the fuck good is being MAGA if we don't actually believe anything?
All right. Can't really make America great again if you don't.
Well, why the hell should I care if America's great again? Do I give a shit about the topography, or do I actually believe something about America?
Yeah.
Like, I said this to Jess, and look, I don't give a shit about where I was born. I don't care, okay? When I say make America great again, the only reason I care is because you see that freaking bookshelf back there?
Yeah.
Most of that's, like, the top shelf there is books from the founding. I've actually read a good chunk of that shit. I've read everything that I could possibly find by George Washington. Like, I believe in the founders. I believe in what they taught. I believe in the idea of, like, rights. That the idea that rights are provided by God, and a government's role is to actually, like, facilitate those rights. The government doesn't give you rights. It's supposed to protect the rights given to you by God.
Yeah.
Our founders created a Christian government that didn't rely on a theocratic monarchy. All right? So, like, that's like, they represent the peak of the Enlightenment before the 1800s screwed everything up. And I believe in what those guys wrote. That's why I'm proud to be an American. That's why I was MAGA. I don't give a fucking shit about the topography, and if the founders were Japanese, I hope I would try to be Japanese. This isn't some freaking regional team bullshit. Like, I actually believe things about our country. I believe what our founders wrote. I believe in the Constitution, as cliche as that sounds. Most of these people don't, though. It's just teams.
No.
It's just sports ball.
Yep.
And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of listening to these stupid people. It's like, you don't even believe enough in throwing pedophiles in jail. What the fuck do you actually believe in? Like, you just want to win. You're no better than a bunch of damn cows trying to hop through a fence. You just want to win. Like, you're barely sentient. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm done. Okay, so in light of the stuff being released, we've already had 3 casualties. So you can't
casualties.
you can't tell me there were no names. Because we've
Right.
got 3 already that were being influenced by Epstein to some capacity. The first is Larry Summers. Larry Summers, this is CNN. Larry Summers said Monday night that he was deeply ashamed about his relationship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, telling CNN that he would pause all public engagements as he works to rebuild trust and repair relationships. But the Harvard University professor added that he will continue teaching, as some call for the university to sever ties with him. All right, so then it's got his quote. So new details of Summers' relationship with Epstein emerged last week when the House committee released emails showing years of personal correspondence between 2 men, including Summers, making sexist comments and seeking Epstein's romantic advice. So, they're attributing this to the emails that showed up last week, but I was under the impression that he was doing this as a reaction to what was supposedly about to come out. But that may be incorrect. It may actually have been the emails that came out. But the bottom line is, there was nobody at all, Trevor. According to Pam Bondi, it's just a rooster illusion.
Oh.
You know. One of the main guys at Harvard, or a professor at Harvard, or whatever. So he's the first to fall. So that was one major character. The next one, we've got Jasmine Crockett. Is that... Oh, this isn't the right one. Dad, blame it. We'll go on to the next person. I'll try to find the person after that. So the next person that we'll talk about is Hakeem Jeffries, who is a bigwig in the, what is this, the House? Yeah. So he was caught associated with Epstein, so we'll listen to this for a minute while I try to find the other piece of the Jasmine Crockett thing. So hang on.
Right here, where Hakeem Jeffries' campaign reached out directly to Jeffrey Epstein, soliciting campaign dollars for the, quote, Brooklyn Barack. Hakeem Jeffries had a very different response when asked about it by the media. He denied its existence. Hakeem Jeffries said, Comer is a stone-cold liar, and then he reverted to calling me names for the second week in a row. The only stone-cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries. So, Mr. Minority Leader, take a deep breath, chill out, stop lying, stop with the juvenile name-calling, and own up to the fact that your campaign solicited campaign cash from Jeffrey Epstein.
House Oversight Chairman James Comer has alleged that Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries' campaign once sought money from late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Comer cited a 2013 email from a political consultant inviting Epstein to a Democratic fundraiser tied to Jeffries' campaign. He claimed that the message encouraged Epstein to attend a dinner and get to know Jeffries as Democrats tried to win the House majority. Comer told lawmakers that this email batch shows Jeffries' campaign directly solicited funds from Epstein a decade ago.
And unsurprising.
So that's number 2. So I'm trying to find this Jasmine Crockett thing is not what I was expecting. She tried to create the impression that some Republican had a connection with Epstein when it was actually a doctor who was named Epstein who was giving the guy money. So that's not what I was referring to.
Wrong Epstein.
Yeah, wrong. She had the wrong Epstein, just like I had the wrong senator. No, there was another person on here, and I cannot get the woman's name in time. I'll have to look at it here for a minute. But basically, there was a girl asking questions in Congress. Like, Epstein was literally texting the woman questions, and she was asking them of the person in real time because Epstein was a donor. So she was taking questions from the donor and asking somebody in the Congress. So that I thought that was Crockett. Apparently that wasn't Crockett. But the point is, there was 3 of them. And if you'll give me a minute, I'll try to find that senator's name, or that representative's name. So, if I can find it. What you doing, Trevor?
Well, I was going to try and help you and look for it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Who was asking questions from Epstein during hearing? Yeah, House Democrat. Stacey Plaskett. That's who it was.
It just came across at Stacey Plaskett.
Yeah, Stacey Plaskett. So, here we go. Yeah. Oh, dadgum. Man, I hate these shorts, dude. These shorts make me just unbelievably angry.
Are they too short?
No, they just...
While she was sitting in a congressional hearing with President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, in 2019.
Did they reach out to you to talk with you about these payments?
No, ma'am.
And documents recently released by the House Oversight Committee now show that Plaskett, a delegate of the Virgin Islands, and Epstein, a resident of the Virgin Islands, were coordinating in real time Plaskett's questioning of Trump's former fixer during the hearing. At 2:24 p.m., Epstein texts, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets. Plaskett responds, Rona? Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? Epstein replies, that's his assistant. About 7 minutes later, Plaskett asked Cohen about Trump's assistant.
Is Miss Rona, what is Miss Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Though her name was redacted in the documents, the Washington Post first reported that the timestamps line up with Plaskett's questioning in the hearing. Plaskett, who was a non-voting delegate, faced a vote to censure her after the text came to light, but it ultimately failed. Plaskett has
Oh,
defended
yeah, I
her text
forgot
with
about
Epstein,
that.
saying
That-
that she
that
took
gets even
texts and calls
better.
from many of her constituents.
What gets better?
I've been a prosecutor for many years. I believe
Oh,
that
they were going to censure her because she was clearly bought off by the guy and asking questions that she shouldn't have been asking because it was a donor who's who's basically doing it. So they tried to censor her, but the Republicans turned around and blocked it at the 11th hour, and they did it in the middle of the night. I'm going to look that up. So help me. Oh, it was biggest turncoating crap.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, they're so the Republicans, the Democrats, everybody. They're all so freaking bought off. Let's see if I can find the.
Well,
right
while you're
interview
looking
here.
that up, do you want to listen to Sean Ryan do a rant about it? It's all cussing, but it might beat your fire a little bit.
Oh, let's see if I can find the right interview really quick. Yeah, this was Johnson confirming it was freaking Mossad, which of course, or CIA, which of course it was. Here we go. Trying to find the interview. Help me out here, Trevor. You need to keep everybody entertained for a minute.
Let's see. Oh no. I have another word from Thursday.
Word from Thursday, huh?
Yeah. It said brindled or brindled. BRINDLED. So this is the word from Thursday. Brindled. Gray or tawny with darker streaks or spots. So it's a color, I guess.
Well, hang on here. I've got something on the same subject. So they wanted to censor this girl, but the Republicans blocked the vote, and Anna Paulina Luda was furious about it because they're clearly just protecting their buddies. So here's her response to them, denying the censure of Plaskett.
I was wondering if the Speaker of the House of Representatives can explain why leadership on both sides, both Democrat and Republican, are cutting back-end deals to cover up public corruption in the House of Representatives from both Republican and Democrat members of Congress.
Representative Anna Paulina Luna blasted members of Congress for failing to censure Democratic Virginia Islands delegate Stacey Plaskett. Plaskett was accused of being coached by disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein through text messages to question former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen during a 2019 House Oversight Committee meeting. Luna said the reason the censure vote was unsuccessful was due to a deal several members of Congress made to protect Representative Corey Mills from a similar fate. She tweeted, quote, "The swamp protects itself." Other GOP members of the House echoed Luna's statements. Representative Lauren Boebert says, quote, "The district's industrial corruption complex is hereby protected." Representative Kat Cammack also accused several House Republicans of taking, quote, "a dive" on the censure vote.
So yeah, nothing to see here, Trevor. It was all a hoax. It's all fake. It's all nothing real here. Nothing at all. Yeah.
It's all fake.
It's all a rooster illusion.
Now
So,
what
yeah.
can we do to cover it all up?
Exactly. And did good old Trump, act repentant after, denying justice for the last 8 months? Absolutely not. What do you have to say about well, let's get into that. We'll wait on that because that gets into Marjorie Taylor Greene leaving. Basically, he's mad at Massie because he's throwing a fit. And I want to say this about Trump, okay? He's better than these flippin' communists that want to burn everything to the ground, right? But you need to understand something. And Buck Sexton said this too, so it's not just me. It's not just me talking out of the void here, but Trump thinks you're an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Most salesmen have contempt for the people they sell to.
Yeah.
It's part of that culture. If you've ever listened to a Napoleon Hill book or an Earl Nightingale book or any sort of Nightingale Conant thing, or if you've ever met millionaires in that circle, which Trump wrote Art of the Deal, he wrote all that self-help crap, those people think you're retarded. They hate you. They think you're dumb. Now, Trump does want to make America great again. He does want to help people. Like, he does want the country to be prosperous. That kind of, I think it was Judge Napolitano. Somebody said he's a class traitor just for that. You know, so you have to, like, you can't be too harsh on Trump because of the world he comes from. Like, it cannot be understated how much these people hate you. Like, millionaires, billionaires. I've met some of these people, Trevor. They hate you. They hate you.
Make her care less.
It's not apathy. It's a loathing and a contempt. Like, you are stupid, and the name of the game is to trick you. Do you understand? Like, there's a visceral loathing.
Yeah.
Like if it's so bad that if you buy something from them, they're not grateful that you bought from them. You're a sucker. Do you understand? Like, you're a sucker. They think you're an idiot because you fell for their pitch. This is the world these people come from. Trump at least wants to help, but that's the world he comes from. And so he's used to manipulating people and twisting people into them doing what he wants. Which is why he said that stupid "I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street and get away with it" comment.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, that's indicative of that world. It's like you've got pride for your charisma or whatever. But this time, people didn't bite. People were like, no, we've got to have justice here. We've got to take apart the system. They didn't let him bulldog us. They, push past the issue.
Yeah.
And he's mad. He's throwing a fit. He relented because he got his teeth kicked in Tuesday. I don't think it was the Democrats doing another hit job, because they've done that for the last 10 years. I don't know why he'd care now. It was that election. It was that election that did it.
Something that actually hurt him.
Yeah, so he's had to, like, give up. Like, he's had to back off because the people made him. And stuff like that pisses him off because he's proud. He's proud.
Yeah.
And so he's throwing a fit. And all these people are throwing a fit. Like, it's... Like... Yes, it makes me mad. On the one hand, it makes me furious. But on the other hand, it's like, based on my experience of people in that world, like, it's remarkable that he wants to do anything good. Because those people are absolutely contemptible. So, I mean, he's a class traitor. He's a class traitor, and you have to give him credit for that.
It's just good business.
Yeah, well, it's just... Yeah, I've met some very wealthy people in my life. Most of them think you're stupid. Like, and it's a visceral loathing for regular people. That's been my admittedly anecdotal experience. There is a profound contempt for, like, the working man or whatever, because they're too stupid to make money. And they're just there to be taken from. And Trump comes from that world. Kudos to him for trying to make the world better. But but at the same time, there's this arrogance that comes along with that. And he didn't get his way this time, so he's kind of throwing a fit. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And I can be a little sympathetic with him because I kind of know that's that world. What pisses me off is everybody being so sycophantic and trying to justify burying these Epstein files and not insisting on justice. Like, if I'm mad at anybody, I'm mad at all the commentators. I've lost respect for like 90% of commentators over the last 8 months. I guess I'm really more angry at them than I am even Trump, because it's like, annoyed as I am at him, it's like, I have a... This is a horrible analogy, but it's like, if you've got a vampire that decides to start a polygamous harem, like, that's bad, but vampires generally kill people, so it's marginally better. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
Yeah.
It's like you have to have a little bit of sympathy for something that's for somebody that comes from a world of complete evil degenerates. You know, like for somebody to try to climb out of hell that much is still impressive. So I have a little bit of empathy for that. But, you know, these commentators that are just blindly following and being yes men to be opportunists, it just pisses me off. It's just, I can be sympathetic with Trump because I don't expect him to be perfect, but I do expect these commentators to actually have something like a moral compass because they act like they have a moral compass. They preach like they have a moral compass. But then you get people like Mike Johnson. It's like, oh, well, you know, I'm super duper Christian. I'm Captain Christian, you know, rah, 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 Christianity. But I'm gonna, you know, protect the pedophile.
He was talking to Ryan Montgomery about some stuff, and this is just him ranting about pretty much the same thing, but he's defending his buddy Ryan.
Okay, all right, we'll give it a listen.
This is up. You guys had the opportunity to do your job years ago. You didn't do it. More kids got exploited, and now you're sitting here with my friend who's trying to do the right thing. Maybe go do the right thing and save some kids. Quit following Ryan around Nashville and harassing him. I know you're listening to this. You makes my skin crawl. It was straight up harassing you. There's so many people in federal law enforcement agencies that don't do. They just harass people. They don't do their job, and then they want to know why nobody trusts the federal institutions or even state. Go do your job and catch bad guys. Quit trailing around a guy that's trying to save kids and harassing him. I know you know this too. I wish I knew him. I'd release his name and tell everybody who he is. This is up. You guys had the opportunity to.
All right, so what's this in reference to?
That's why I like Sean Ryan.
Well, okay, but what's he talking about? Like this?
He basically on our next part we'll talk about it. But Ryan Montgomery is a hacker. I forget what they call them, but they're good hackers. They defend against bad hackers. And Ryan Montgomery, when he was bound out by the institutions, they were like following him around, harassing him, trying to get him to work for them and do all these jobs.
Okay.
And to the point where like they were showing up at what's the movie with Jim Caviezel?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom at that opening. Sean Ryan took Ryan Montgomery with him, and one of an agent, I forgot which institution, walked up to them while Sean was sitting next to Ryan, and started trying to recruit Ryan to do a job for them. Sean Ryan told him to F off, and that's what he's referencing.
Okay, so I guess I'm a little lost. So the job, like, they're wanting this kid to work for them, to catch the kids, to catch the predators.
The predators, because that's what Ryan Montgomery does.
He's acting independently.
And he's acting independently.
Okay,
he has his own business right now.
And so Sean Ryan's mad at them for trying to recruit him.
Yes.
Okay.
Which he already is working with a lot of the good guys, but they're still harassing him. Like walking up to him at these shows and stuff like that, like texting him constantly, calling him constantly.
Just because they want him to work for him?
Just because, well, yeah. And it's nonstop. Basically, it'd be like you working with me. Like, say I'm the FBI, and then I still have guys from the FBI still coming up to you and be like, hey, I know you're already doing this, but can you do this and this and this and that? Harassing you.
So why are they wanting him specifically? Is it just like a competition thing? Do they not like that he's making them look bad? Like what? I'm a little confused, like, as to why this would make Sean Ryan so angry. Because it's like
Well-
if you're trying to recruit somebody for a job and you tell them no, and
Well, Ryan Montgomery's more like me. He's a pacifist, so he just kind of is like, "Well, I'm busy doing this. I'm busy doing that," and he says yes too many times. And Sean went off and was like, "You gotta effing tell these people to f off sometimes." So Ryan wasn't doing that, so Sean got pissed.
okay,
and
so
started
he was getting
talking about
overworked.
that.
Basically, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Getting overworked. Okay. Well, the reason that I guess we're highlighting this is because apparently this Ryan guy is dealing with a situation with child predators when it comes to Roblox. Is that correct?
Roblox and Discord and
Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. You got a short here pulled up.
Yeah.
See what this is, and then we got a longer segment from Sean Ryan's show.
Do you want
Lord
to
from Roblox. In one case, a person was already.
Sorry, what?
Do you want to do an intro for the third part, or?
Well, I'm kind of adding this with the Epstein thing because I don't know if we're gonna get 30 minutes out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we'll,
so,
yeah. Sorry, go on.
What happened was these pedophiles started to recruit kids from Roblox and Discord and even Minecraft.
Okay.
And they were getting them not only to do like sexual stuff, but other things as well. And they talk about that on this short here. So you can go ahead and play that.
Okay, hang on here. All right, we'll pull that back up.
Arrested, threw a brick through the window of a pregnant teen's car. The shock put her into cardiac arrest, her and the baby. The guy was arrested for being part of the 764 group and was charging $50 to $200 for bricking, swatting, and doxing services. So bricking means show up at somebody's house, either throw a brick through their window, shoot it up with a gun, vandalize it, break windows, record the video, and post it. 22-year-old member of one of the groups kidnapped and a 12-year-old girl in Virginia. He was convicted and sentenced to 350 years in prison. 17-year-old member Nino live-streamed himself attacking an 82-year-old man, and 2 weeks later, a 74-year-old woman on video who he believed to be Roma. He was only sentenced to 14 years. Hurt an old man terribly and an old woman gruesomely, just to prove to these people that he had what it takes to be part of their group.
What the is wrong with these people?
And lured from Roblox. In one case, a person.
Okay, so this is basically people targeting individuals on Roblox.
Yeah, so this actually I don't have the texts available because I just delete them and block the person.
Yeah.
But this has happened to my own kids. They'll be playing on Roblox, and there's a live chat that you can talk to people
right
while playing, and they'll start talking in these live chats, and any response they get, they'll send the kiddos messages.
Yeah.
And it's a personalized message through the Xbox app or through Xbox or through whatever gaming, like PlayStation or the computer.
Yeah.
And then they'll recruit them and have them try and join their gang
right
on the Roblox or on whatever game they're playing. And then they'll get them in a private server where they can tell them, hey, to actually get into this gang or whatever, you need to go and do this. And they'll tell them to do some sort of dangerous something or other, which is what he just talked about.
Yeah.
And then they'll recruit them into their gang, and then they'll be like, okay, meet us here in person, and that's when they either kidnap them or initiate them or something worse.
Okay, so from what I understand here, this Ryan individual is going to demonstrate this to Sean Ryan as to how all this works.
Yes, and he's a hacker, world-renowned hacker, and his job is to find the predators.
All right.
If you put that
So
into
this-
Chat GPT, I guarantee you it would know exactly what it means. But if there's no AI doing moderation on Roblox, that stuff gets by. Which, if the people can't see it, it's pedophile rapist. That's the username, but it's spelled wrong.
Let me show it here in a second.
This person saying, "Do you like play?" Because if you did, I'd you. And this is unbelievable. So imagine a premium service for a free app. So Discord, the chat application, is a free application. It's like about $10 for their premium features, and all you get in their premium features is emojis, like different, little emojis, being able to color your profile with different colors and stuff, and maybe a larger file size limit to send. But that's all you get for Discord Nitro, is what this is called. And this conversation says, "I got a 2-week Nitro trial if you want one." Guy says, "Give." He says, "Yes." Guy says, "Will she cut for me?" He says, "Yes, we'll cut on camera." He says, "All right." Other guy says, "If I tell her to." He says, "Can you tell her to?" He said, "Nitro first." He said, "All right." So he traded a victim for $10 and the ability to send emojis in a chat application. That's how petty and ridiculous this is. Here's an 11-year-old victim they're selling for money.
Oh, man. What do you mean they're selling her?
Read it.
For sale. 11-year-old girl. She is very naughty girl, has been deflowered, yet still in ripe enough condition. No visible signs of abuse. Will listen when she is put under enough pressure. Make sure to give her enough attention and she'll never leave you. Price $1,200. Only accepting Monero payments.
Which is an untraceable cryptocurrency. So, but you see how she's got the group name written here?
Yeah.
So she's not only being sold by people that are into children, adults, but she is being sold by these satanic scumbags that are doing that.
So is she a hostage, or is
It's hard to tell. That she may have been forced to take a photo like that, or she may actually be a hostage. Yeah, so
yeah. And
So,
it starts
just to
with a conversation from Roblox.
Just to emphasize the point, this is the kind of crap that was going on with those people in the Epstein files, and this is the kind of crap Trump was willing to cover up to make a fucking deal. And there are some bastards on here that are going, it doesn't matter. Just let it go. It's old news.
Yep. And they're getting on places where you think your kids are just hanging out on a cartoon game and going after them from there. And most parents don't have any blocking anything for them. I was lucky enough to see my own kids get messages because they only get to play through my game, my profile. So I get all their messages, and they've gotten several messages. It was almost weekly that I had to block somebody, and I finally told them, no more Roblox. And now there's a lawsuit against Roblox for this stuff. So
There should be.
Yep.
But you know how this crap gets so big, Trevor? It's because nobody enforces the law.
Yeah.
These
the good guys just stand by and don't do anything about it.
Well, there's an apathy even in the leadership. It's like this crap is not a big deal to these people. The people that keep getting elected over and over and over again, like it's just not a big deal to them. You got all these apathetic Machiavellians. They just look the other way in the name of making a deal or whatever. Because like that guy said earlier, Ryan Montgomery said, like, you could put an AI on there to catch those terms. YouTube has an AI. Like, this stuff is easy to catch.
Yeah.
It's not like it's hard to catch. They don't bother because somebody got paid.
Yep.
And it shows, like, this is not a minority. Like, this is not like one or two bad actors. This kind of like apathy to evil has permeated the culture. It's always just somebody else's problem. It's everywhere. It's everyone. And it's gotten to the point that we're willing to make these kinds of, like, turn the other way, look the other way at this kind of stuff to, you know, get a paycheck from an Epstein type or make a deal. If you're a commentator.
Yep.
Like, we don't care about the kids. Like, this fucking country doesn't give a shit about its kids. It just pisses me off. It just... Anyway. I guess we should move on to the last part of this. So, guys, we're going to move on. So thank you so much for watching. If you're on the live stream, stay with us. We got one more segment. If you are watching this after the fact, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So on to part 3. I'm just going to jump into it. I don't really feel like doing the intro.
Okay.
So when Trump finally agreed to sign the Epstein file thing, I started out as in a good mood. I thought that was a win. I thought, maybe we'd finally get past all this. But then I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene ends up resigning. And, the big reason she's resigning is because these stupid Epstein files not being released. And, and this is what I was saying earlier in the live stream. Was Trump contrite or even silent in any way? No. So he's blaming Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning basically on Massie. So here's what he had to say on Fox News.
Are you willing to forgive Congresswoman Taylor Greene?
Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history, just stupid person named Massie. And I said, go your own way.
I'm just going to say this. Trump is a petulant son of a bitch for saying this. A petty, pathetic son of a bitch. If he didn't want people making the big fuss about the Epstein files, he shouldn't have said anything.
Yep.
But he lost. He tried to dig in his fucking heels like a child. He lost. And now he's going to sit there and call Massie the stupid senator and the worst senator. Well, he beat your ass, you piece of shit, motherfucker. You're the one, you're the one who blinked, you dumb son of a bitch. Anyway, let's finish this.
Once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person. Okay. Are you...
Well, at least he thinks she's a nice person.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that. Well, horrible philosophy. I wonder what philosophy he was even talking about. The philosophy that says we should, protect the kids. What philosophy was he talking about? Maybe we shouldn't make deals with piece of shit pedophiles, to prop up the economy or whatever. Whatever the hell he said or did. Because he's obviously the one that tried to bury it. He's not in it, but he tried to bury it for some reason.
Obviously, yeah.
So what philosophy wasn't? Hey, maybe we shouldn't make moral calculations with children? Anyway, so here's Alex Jones and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
This is a disgusting train wreck. It's horrible. And I am just disgusted with the people that stirred all this up. It's like the Elon Musk, oh, we ran Elon off. Now we've had all these congressmen come out and say, no, Elon was cutting the real corruption of both parties. 90% was Democrat, but he pissed off the establishment. The Republicans forced him out. We knew that. And then it hurt Trump bad, and it hurt Doge, and we're not getting the major cuts we needed, a lot of it. I mean, and people are like, oh, I choose Trump. I choose Musk. I said, you're not choosing one, idiots. This is the establishment running out somebody that is definitely trying to reform stuff.
That's a good point. So, like on Twitter earlier, Razorfist was like, hey, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene's only leaving because her polls were at 12%. Which Razorfist usually has, like, good numbers, you know, like he's not somebody who's like inaccurate. But even if that's true, this is not a win. Like, who's going to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene? Somebody, Susie Collins, or that woman that has, I think her name's Susan Collins. One of Trump's advisors is going to pick the person to replace her, and it's going to be a Brian Kemp or a John McCain knockoff. What exactly do you gain by losing Marjorie Taylor Greene? Nothing. You lose one of the main proponents of MAGA. What do you gain? What do you gain? Nothing.
Nothing. You lose.
They're like, aha, bye, Felicia, because you didn't, stick behind your man. Yeah, even if the guy was, protecting pedophiles, she didn't stick behind him. So, you're a traitor. You're a turncloak. Wah, wah, wah.
Wow.
And so she's leaving. It's not just the Epstein thing. I think it's also the work visa stuff. But obviously with Trump referencing Massie, it's Epstein. It's clearly Epstein because that was Massie's big thing, and she joined with Massie, and she gave Massie enough credibility to actually get the pull to pull this off. So she gave his cause legitimacy because people, again, our dumb fucking side just considers the libertarians nothing but grandstanders. So, but she gave him legitimacy, and that gave him enough pull to get this thing done in Congress. So for Trump to reference that proves it's really about the Epstein thing. So she keeps the son of a bitch from covering for pedophiles, and she's resigning because he did a PR campaign against her, which is probably why she's at 12%.
Wow.
And everybody's celebrating it. Bye, turncloak. One of the fucking creators of VeggieTales, Doug TeNapel, is like celebrating the fact that she's gone. It's like, you stupid bastard. You want a Brian Kemp in there instead? Who the hell do you think is going to replace her?
Nobody.
Yeah, bunch of dumb motherfuckers. Just everybody's an idiot right now, Trevor. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's like everybody just use a cliche 90s. They took stupid pills or something. It's like everybody's been kicked in the head. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
They're taking the red pill.
Too
is
much.
Is that what the red pill movement is?
No, that's a whole other thing. Maybe there's too much fluoride in the water. Perhaps that's what it is. Fuck.
I would have tested
the needle
that
big.
one.
Huh?
I would have tested that one.
Yeah, it's probably they're probably trying to kill everybody faster.
I've been having problems because my water's messed up.
I don't even drink my water. I have bottled water. Like I don't drink from the tap if I can at all help it.
We get a letter in the mail from our district that tells us not to drink the water because it might cause cancer.
Yeah. But again, that's somebody else not enforcing the law. Somebody somebody made money off that deal too. Anyway, moving on.
Time.
What happened?
I don't know. He's thinking.
Oh.
And now you see I was right. We're not in high school. We're not in junior high, folks. The enemy is the globalists. The enemy is...
It's sports ball. Morality isn't real. Objective principles don't exist. The founders were just talking crap when they brought up human rights. None of it's fucking real. It's all just whatever the hell you can get away with. It's sports ball. The elephant's a fucking mascot. No more, no less. MAGA is a slogan. None of it's real. That's the problem. If people actually acted like morality was objective, then we wouldn't be in this fix. But, It's just tribalism, teams.
The Democrats, the enemy is the World Economic Forum and the UN. It's that ideology. Not, you must vote exactly as I say or you're out of the party. We need to get more members of Congress in that are patriots. We need more ideas. And I don't think MTG should leave, because then with that small majority they've got, she had a lot of power. But see, that's why I'm really mad at Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer has been harassed. She's been driven out of the before. They've tried to put her in prison. She knows the stuff's real. I've been swatted. My family's been swatted. Most of his crew's been swatted. MTG's been swatted over and over again on record. Look at all the Republicans have been shot, killed, you name it. Scalise, the list goes on and on. Look at Rand Paul attacked all those times. And Laura Loomer said, oh, I called this town and they didn't have a report of it. She called the wrong town. Plus, usually it takes days to even get a police report out. The point is, you don't think she's been threatened? You don't think people didn't come to her house? You don't think the left didn't false flag it, guaranteed, and harass her to try to push her out? I know it's them, because conservatives really don't do that very often. And I said that.
I forget he always does these long intros.
So listen to MTG. Listen to her. She says this is not 5D chess. It's not. Trump's great on a lot of things, very sophisticated. It is. He is impulsive, which is an attribute in many ways of leadership. But now at 79, the id is running everything, and he's not even on a power trip. He does not give a flying fuck. He believes he's doing a good job. He has a mission, and he gets it right a lot of the time. But he has missing spots with people like Todd Blanche. Oh, sorry, we can't indict your enemies that did all these crimes that are open to shut, but don't worry, we'll get your champion. So if Trump works really hard, very smart, very funny. I don't think he has dementia, but he does have kind of this exhaustion thing where you push through exhaustion and you get even more wild. And so, and I am glad that the White House watches and listens and it has an effect, and they bring Trump in and show him clips of the show. Mark Mitchell confirmed that. I've been invited up there. I just don't go because I'm going to start, I'm not going to sit there and glad hand and do a bunch of stuff. I don't want to wear tuxedos. I don't want to be recognized. I don't want to be thanked in public. I just, that ain't me, man. I was never into it. Now I have an allergy to it. All right? So I want victory. I don't want to be the Washington establishment. The girls was like beer nuts on the counter. Wasn't the main focus. It was the hors d'oeuvre, not the main course. As I told you, money laundering, hundreds of billions through Harvard alone over the decades, sending it out, sending it back, all of this USAID crap, all of it. And it's all coming out. I'm like, what are you worried about? I know Trump's business. He's not been involved in that. But he may fight with Harvard and their $54 million endowment. He may do that stuff and like try to get them to do what he wants, but he wants to be in charge of that all. He doesn't want to have the corruption anymore, but he wants to be, he doesn't want to smash institutions. Well, when something's rotting and about to collapse, you got to get rid of it anyways. So I know Trump's MO. I know what he's doing. So just because she will not engage in that type of Machiavellian thinking, you got to go crazy on her, and that only pisses your constituents off more. And then I see the celebrations from Laura Loomer, who I don't want to attack. I mean, it's just like, I'm the reason this happened, and I think you did help start.
Well, I think that confirms what I was saying earlier. The philosophy, the philosophy thing was she wasn't willing to make the trade-off. That's what, yeah. I think that pretty much confirms our speculation right there.
Yep.
This is why you don't have fucking businessmen running the country. And this is why you don't have fucking generals. You need people with like a moral paradigm that actually believe shit. You have businessmen and generals and all these freaking like these specialists on your council to provide specialized information. And then you have people that are actually righteous and good and decent who have a proper paradigm, filter that information to make a good call. You don't have these fucking assholes that are just concerned about making money, because then they make deals like, protecting pedophiles so that they can keep the money flowing, because they don't fucking believe in anything. Like this guy, God saved his life. And the piece
Many
of shit
times.
takes his second chance and makes a deal with a bunch of pedophiles for it. But he disagrees. He disagrees with her philosophy.
Hey, Calix.
Hey, Calix, good to see you, man. So, I'm I'm so mad.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. And it's sad because she stood by him when nobody else would. She was one of a handful left after, January 6th. Yeah, he says, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm in a mood tonight." So we'll keep playing. We'll see what else Alex Jones says. And then I think we'll end the stream with like her speech, and we'll call it good because she gave a resignation speech, and then we'll call it good from there.
Okay.
So, all right.
Stir it all up. Great job. Who will you target next? Who will you run off next? I mean, MTG was a self-made woman, $50 million, whatever. Started her own construction company. She doesn't need this. And she said, when the revolution's ready, when we're serious, she'll come back. I get it. She needs to take a breather. I ain't taking no breather. Because I got the dogs of the enemy on my ass, and that's fine. That's where I like to be. Because they wake me up in the morning, chewing all over me. I look down, and my teeth sunk into me. A little pat. And now you see I was right. We're not in high school. We're not in junior high, folks. The enemy is the globalists. The enemy is the Democrats. The enemy... Oh, look, she's responded to me. I said, get right with God. Seem to be black-pilled and hostile towards those who don't agree with them. So what does it mean? It's an interesting concept. Laura, if you don't know what getting right with God is, that's the... I mean...
It means not make a deal with pedophiles. That's a good start. Getting right with God? How about not making deals with pedophiles? That's a pretty low bar. Let's start there. Or not justify your dear leader for making deals. Oh my gosh. Trevor, I'm in a dour humor. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't. Let's watch her speech really quick and let's go from there.
What
does it take to lead?
Well, hey, look at that.
In a world that won't sit still. It takes a lot of...
I have fought harder than...
This was about her resignation.
Yeah, if this is the actual speech, I hope it's not a stupid clip telling me that she made a speech. Okay. The sick fucks. Ha ha ha. Am I allowed to say that here? Yeah, man, dude, I've been cussing up a storm all night tonight.
Yep.
I try not to, but I've kind of succumbed to temptation. So you're among sinners tonight. So good night.
Almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026. and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Maybe she should run for president.
I don't see why he would when half the fucks here are defending this shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? I remember January 6th, man. I remember when everybody thought Trump was done.
Yeah.
And I remember being one of like 5 people, that was like, no, he's coming back. And having faith and sticking it out, I remember, and she was one of them. But because, he wanted to make a deal with a bunch of fucking pedophiles and she didn't, she's a traitor. And half the damn commentators on this piece of shit internet are out there calling her the bad guy, including Doug TeNapel, Mr. I helped make Veggie Tales, a Christian, is celebrating her leaving because she's a turncoat because she didn't want to, make a deal with pedophiles.
That's ridiculous.
It's fucking insane. The same kind of pieces of shit that would get mad at me for cussing are the same kinds of pieces of shit that are going to defend, a guy who made deals with pedophiles.
You're not supposed to cuss, Gary.
I know, right? Those 4-letter words, those evil syllables. So, I mean, I hope you have something to say because I'm just going to keep yelling. I don't know how long we got left before our 30 minutes are up, but I'm just going to keep cussing. I don't know what else to do. Like, I hate this, but... And I thought it was going to be a good week. I thought I was going to come in here and be like, hey, maybe in a month I could take the Still No List logo off and we could go back to everything being kind of normal again.
Well, I mean, have they released the list yet?
No, because Pam Body's got to protect the victims first.
So, no.
Yeah, no. We're probably going to get it like half redacted. It's like they're going to redact all the freaking, people that actually did stuff. Of course, when they say victims, what she means in English is Johns. They're going to redact all the Johns because, they didn't know they were being blackmailed, so technically they're victims. It'll be some stupid rationale like that. So you have any thoughts, sir?
No, I just wish that, the right people would do the right thing when they're supposed to and when they promise to do it.
It's going to take a whale of an apology to get me back. Like, to sit there and call Massie like a stupid, horrible congressman, even after all this, I'm like, you're just pissed because you lost. You're just pissed because your people didn't fucking blindly follow you. You're a fucking child. And I can't believe I invested so much time and energy in you. I'm half disgusted in myself that I did. It's just more of the same Washington bullshit.
Yep.
And it's hard not to be blackpilled with it because, anybody who's willing to make a deal to protect people like that, they're not the saviors of the country, whatever they are. They're nobody's fucking David or anything else. So... And he could have been. He could have been the guy that turned it all around. Maybe he meant to be that in the beginning, but, he took the ring or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like, that's a good analogy. He took the ring. Yeah, the ring of Sauron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it does seem like here lately somebody's finally got to him. Either paid him off or... did something to really get under his skin and he flipped the switch.
See, Trevor, that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure somebody got to him. Because he's had... Well, see, he did this shit last time. He did. He had... if he wasn't going to learn after Pence, if he wasn't going to learn after COVID, he was never going to learn, and he never intended to learn. If he wasn't going to learn, if he wasn't going to learn after being shot, these fuckers shot him, and he turns around and made a deal with the same crowd. And you know what, Trevor? He knows. Do you remember, I don't know if you saw this, but do you remember when, somebody, I think it might have been RFK, somebody leaked Trump's phone call with Biden right after the assassination attempt. And Biden's like, why did you turn your head? It's like, bitch, do you need a neon sign? He obviously tried to kill you, you dumb fuck. But they didn't want to admit it. I mean, he was whining that his plan didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, and fucking hell, half of Washington was making plans. Mike Pompeo was talking like he was going to be VP because Nikki Haley was a shoo-in because they all knew they were going to fucking kill him.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, but they missed. They missed. And the dumb son of a bitch still made a deal with them. That entire town was in on it, and the dumb son of a bitch still made a deal with them. He has no intention of learning, and he doesn't want to learn.
Pride.
He went in there planning to make a deal because he's the deal maker. That's what he always says about himself. He's the deal maker. He's going to make the deals.
He does say that.
Yeah, he's the one that knows how to do the negotiating. His books, The Art of the Deal. These people are commies, and they want to burn the country down. There is no making a deal with them. They want to destroy everything. And if you don't know that by now, it's just because you don't want to. Whether you want to save the country or not. It's disgusting. It's just... If you're not going to draw a moral line and live off principle here, you're never going to. You're always just going to default to what's expedient. And I'm glad Marjorie Taylor Greene left. Because she wasn't willing to play. And I respect her for not being willing to play. And I don't care if her polls were at 12% or not. It was probably Trump campaigning that got her to 12% in the first place. He ran her off. And it's embarrassing that people are so fucking stupid they couldn't understand what the hell he was doing. So congratulations, you dumb bastards. You're going to get another Brian Kemp. And I hope you enjoy your hell. So, fuck you, people of Georgia. Good job, dumbasses. If that stat is even true, which, I mean, Razorfist is normally pretty good about that stuff. But anyway, maybe it's wrong. I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm done yelling. Try not to get this angry, but oh my gosh, this week has been wild. So hopefully, the other thing is, Trevor, this isn't even supposed to be a political show. Like, this was like the conspiracy theory that ran me off from Alex Jones for years, and here it is, like this mainstay of the news for like ever, because it turned out to actually be real. This was not the original plan, but we're going to see this thing through, or at least I am. You know, I can't let it go. Like this is evil. Like this is
evil at its best, or worst.
Yeah. Well, it's beyond. Like, you can't imagine anything more sick, or it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to imagine something more sick than what these people actually did.
Yeah.
And he tried to make a deal with them. Like, I can't get over that. I just... Like, what the hell is the point of having a good economy and being number one in the world if this is what you're going to do with your power? What the hell is the point? Anyway. Okay, guys. This has been... I know we're ending on a down note, but I'm going to sign off, and maybe things will be better next week. So, who knows? But if you've stuck with us so far, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.